Hi, everybody. I'm thrilled to have on the phone with us today Grammy Award winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member Mike Love, the lead singer of the legendary band The Beach Boys. Mike, it's a real pleasure for me to talk with you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on the program.
Thank you for joining us, Michael. 92.5. You and the Beach Boys will be invading Acadiana here in South Louisiana Wednesday night for one big show at the Hyman Center in Lafayette. If you're a Beach Boys fan, you don't want to miss this show. Should be a great show, Mike.
Well, we're all practiced up. We've been, we have all the hits that you could possibly imagine from us that we'll be doing when we get to Hyman.
Okay, well, look, the Beach. I'm glad you mentioned that. You have such a huge library of hit songs through the years. How do you guys decide during your shows which songs to play?
Well, there's a lot of hits we had on, over the years that you just have to do. California Girls, I Get Around, Fun, 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 Help Me Rhonda, Good Vibrations, Kokomo, for instance. And then we got a few that maybe weren't as big hits, but we really loved doing them. Songs like In My Room and Surf the Girl and God Only Knows and Sloop John B. and Wouldn't It Be Nice from our Pet Sounds album. So, we've got plenty to choose from, and we do a 2-hour show. I do an hour with an intermission followed by another hour, so there's plenty of music.
Has it ever happened to you in all the years you've been doing what you're doing where you just forgot the words to a song?
Every now and then I'll drop a stitch, along, and I'll get distracted or something. I don't know, but it doesn't happen all that much. But it has happened. We were doing a show one time in a stadium in California, and there were about 5,000 people jumping up and down on the upper level, and it looked like there was an earthquake going on or something, and I was right in the middle. I Get Around, and I just stopped singing the words, but that was a good reason to forget the words for a minute, because so many thousands of people are having such a great time.
What do you do in cases like that? You just kind of improvise? Well,
you just keep going. No, it just human beings once in a while we'll miss something or something, but that's okay. The good thing about the Beach Boys music is so many of our songs are known by so many people for so many years that they fill in the blanks, I think.
Exactly. Look, as a songwriter, Mike, you've written some of the best-known hits for the Beach Boys, like Good Vibrations. And I always like to ask songwriters, where do you guys get the inspiration for some of your songs? Are any of them based on real-life experiences?
Yes, they are. Several of them are, actually. In advertising, they call it heightened reality. Sometimes, the words to California Girls. I wrote all the words to California Girls. My cousin Brian did the track and the arrangement and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And we all worked together on the harmonies and stuff. But I was responsible for the lyrics. And, we've been a bunch of young guys traveling around the world, seeing girls all over the world, from Australia to Austria and Japan and Germany and everything else. So I just wrote those words, based on our travels and our observations, shall we say.
Well, I'm curious to see how the songwriting arrangement went with you and Brian. Did you pretty well write the words first and then ask Brian to get the melody, or did he sometimes provide the melody and you'd write the words to that melody?
Well, in the case of Good Vibrations, he didn't have the words, but he had a great track, and the track, the bass went dun 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 dun. So I came up with, I'm picking up good vibrations, she's giving me excitations. So in that case, it was the music that gave rise to the lyrics to complement the music. But then there's one time I said, hey, Brian, we got to do a song about a girl who borrows her dad's car and tells him she's got to go to the library, but she actually goes cruising with her friends. that was the basis of Fun, Fun, Fun. The song we end up our show with just about every night and have for many years. It's such a great upbeat song. But in that case, it was the words and the concept that gave rise to the music. So it can happen either way.
Yeah. Out of all the songs, do you have a personal favorite that you never get tired of performing, Mike?
A lot of them I don't get tired of performing. So some of them are so great. Like I mentioned, Good Vibrations, mentioned California Girls. Help Me Run is great, you know. Fun, Fun, Fun was great. I mean, there's nothing to not like in those songs. Surfing Safari, Surfing USA, you know.
Yeah.
The I Get Around and Little Deuce Scoop, they're all so fun, you know. And then Surfer Girl is a beautiful ballad. In My Room is another beautiful ballad. God Only Knows is beautiful from our Pet Sounds album. So there's just so many nice songs I never get tired of hearing.
What kind of feeling comes over you and the rest of the band when you are out there and you see this huge crowd of people singing along with you?
Well, it's so uplifting as a person who is involved in the writing and recording the songs and performing, obviously. It's such a great feeling to see how much happiness is generated in the audience. And the audience has grown from our original audience, and now it's couple generations later, we have, you know, entire families will turn out and enjoy the music together, which is not always how it is. You know, sometimes the kids have their music, the grandparents have theirs, and the parents have theirs. The nice thing about Beach Boys music, I think, is the entire family enjoys it.
Out of all of the honors you've received, and you've received a lot of honors, Mike, is there one that really means more to you than any other?
Well, there was a thing called the Ella Awards, which is, singers are nominated for that, and I was awarded that a few years back, and that was really special. And Nancy Reagan actually gave me an accolade, and Bill O'Reilly actually came to the event, and a lot of my friends and people in the music business were part of it, including John Stamos, who's a really great friend and who loves to come and perform with us when he can. So that was very special, the Ella Awards.
After all the years, more than 55, 56 years, you guys have been doing what you're doing. You're still doing all of these shows all over the country, all over the world. What is it about the Beach Boys music that it's been holding up for generations? What is it about the Beach Boys, Mike?
Well, first of all, we're positive, primarily positive. Good Vibrations and Fun, Fun, Fun. Those are titles of songs which indicate, you know, the kind of message we're putting out. And Kokomo, it was our biggest hit. I mean, and it's a big sing-along. People can relate to the music. They relate to the message, I think, and multiple generations do, too. And, you know, I remember going to Prague, Czechoslovakia in 1969, okay, so now 50 years ago, and we were welcomed, even though they didn't understand everything we were singing. They loved the beat, they loved the sound, and they loved the whole concept of Surfing USA, you know. And so our music has meant a lot to a lot of people all around the world, and we've represented America through our music and relatively freedom, you know, and the whole thing of rock and roll music. It was revolutionary in the 50s and the 60s, and it resonated around the world. I mean, we had fan letters from Russia, and we've had fans in Japan and Germany and places where they don't speak English, but they love the music.
You've been called America's band. Is that a good way of describing your music and the band? I
think so, because we wrote about things that were completely American, like, for instance, our car songs, 409, Shut Down, I Get Around, Fun, 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 Little Deuce Scoop, you know. I mean, what's more Americana than all the great classic cars out of Detroit for all those years in the 50s and the 60s? And so, you know, and also things like Surfing USA and California Girls. I mean, going to a dance looking for romance in Barbara Ann. A lot of stuff that happened during our school years growing up, and cruising the coast and having fun. It's all, we put it into our music. We put our lifestyles in our music, and it caught on.
Well, Mike Love, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. Your band is a special band to me. I mean, I grew up with you guys' music, and my grandson loves your music. So, as you mentioned, I think tonight or at Lafayette, you're going to see generations of people at that show. We're looking forward to the Beach Boys show Wednesday night at the Hyman Center in Lafayette. I want to thank you for joining us, and all the best for you and the band.
Thank you, Mark, for having me on the show.